Hello guys, and welcome to WhiskyWars. Hello everyone, and welcome to WhiskyWars. Today we've got possibly the most aggressive sounding title that I've released yet on YouTube, the Wee Beastie versus Peat Monster. The Peat Monster is a blended scotch from Islay by Compass Box, and the Wee Beastie is Ardbeg's 5-year-old release that came out last year. The Wee Beastie is slightly higher at 47.4% with the Peat Monster at 46%. As you can tell just by looking at these two, they're two very light, cutely coloured whiskies. However, the Wee Beastie is definitely more of a golden glow, a hay-like, straw-like characteristic, whereas the Peat Monster is very light. Very light. One of the lighter whiskies you'll find. Let's see if you can see the two. So what I'm expecting of these two, I've reviewed the Wee Beastie before, so if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll probably know what to expect with the Wee Beastie. The Peat Monster's a new one though, I've not reviewed this one yet, so I'm expecting both of these whiskies to be very punchy, very peaty, and very overpowering on on their nose because of their name. What? Okay, on the nose for the Peat Monster, that's very light, very floral, very citrusy. Not what I was expecting at all. Certainly doesn't smell like a Peat Monster, put it that way. Yeah. The Wee Beastie is a true Wee Beastie. Very peaty, very punchy, very pungent. Peat Monster, not at all like that. On the nose, straight away, I'm getting a very similar vibe to Kalila 12 on the nose. You get floral notes, it's a little bit grassy, citrusy, there's lemon zest in there. Not overpowering with peat. I wouldn't even say it's a mid-strength Islay in terms of peat level. It's definitely lighter. It's lighter, it's fresher, it's citrusy. I think this would be a better comparison to the Kalila, to be honest. There's a touch of brine on there, but it's dominant in sweet, light characteristics. Maybe some orchard fruits. I'd say maybe an apple. That's about as fruity as it gets. I wouldn't call it a fruity whiskey at all, but it is sweet. But I'd actually say like a white sugar syrup, that sort of sweetness, maybe a honey, but certainly not red fruits or any sort of sweetness like that. Maybe a melon, that's about as far as it gets really. On the Wee Beastie, brine, bonfire, peat, damp wood, vegetal notes, but some sweeter notes on the nose there. A cookie dough, which is a note that I get that's really quite strong on this whiskey, but I don't see other people getting it. So if you don't get cookie dough on the nose, don't blame me. It's just something I get. But there's some milk chocolate on there as well. Fudge caramel-like characteristics coming through. A really nice pine resin as well, which is really pleasant. You're getting a touch of herbal notes coming through, but tree-like, forest-like. It's a really nice nose, is the Wee Beastie. A similar citrus characteristic and maybe apple and pear to match the apple in the Peat Monster. But overall, two very, very different whiskies on the nose. Very different to taste. Okay, that's good. Getting more peat coming through on the taste. It's a lot more salty. On the nose it was relatively sweet. A lot more salt coming through on the taste. There's some oaky spice coming through. Quite meaty on the taste. bacon characteristic on that meatiness. A little bit of tobacco, quite heavy in cigarettes, a little bit of Sutton ash coming through on the taste. So it's edging towards its name a little bit more on the taste than it was on the nose, that's for sure. But it's important to note that it's still citrusy, it's still floral. Those notes come through on the taste to match the nose. Cigars, tobacco, tar. It's oily. Very peaty, salty. Not very sweet at all. Certainly more aggressive, salty Islay, the Wee Beastie. A far stronger seaweed kelp note than anything that's on the Peat Monster coming through on the Wee Beastie. It definitely, I know it's called the Wee Beastie, but it definitely feels like it's big brother to the Peat Monster. The Peat Monster is certainly not a monster, whereas this is a bacon. The Wee Beastie, it's a black charred peppered steak, and very, very meaty, very intense, very smoky. A much longer aftertaste, much longer finish on the Wee Beastie to the Peat Monster. These two whiskies are nothing alike, and I really thought they would. The names of both of these, I knew what to expect from the Wee Beastie because I've reviewed it before on the channel. The Compass Box Peat Monster, I thought these two would be a really good comparison to see which is a stronger of the two Islas, but it's obvious. The Wee Beastie is by far the more aggressive Islay. The Peat Monster isn't even a mid-level aggressive Islay. It's very much on the lighter side of the scale, which is a big shock. So I think even though this review hasn't been as close as I would like, I think it's a really important one to know, because if you see the Compass Box Peat Monster out on the market, you read the name like I did, you fall for the marketing, and you want a really aggressive Islay, you're going to be in for a big, big, big disappointment. So this is why I like doing these comparisons, just to try and help you out as the buyer. There's nothing worse than buying a whiskey. Maybe you can only afford one whiskey a month, or however often you can afford them, and you buy it and it's a disappointment. So these videos are there to stop you making these disappointing purchases. It's not a disappointing whiskey, it's a very nice whiskey, but it doesn't match its name, not even remotely close. So if you the winner today is the Ardbeg Wee Beastie. And don't forget, guys, if you like the video, please like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd be so kind as to share the video, try and get this video out there to help other whiskey lovers out there make better purchases, so they don't go out and buy Compass Box Peat Monster and expect a big Peat Monster aggressive whiskey. Thanks for watching.